My name is Darvis, I'm 33 years old, and last month, I realized family betrayal doesn't always come with knives or fists. Sometimes, it comes with signatures, whispered meetings, and the people you trust most circling you like vultures. My grandfather, no, my father in every way that mattered, left me $750,000 when he passed. He raised me after my parents' divorce, when my mom was drowning in chaos and my dad was always gone. He gave me stability. He gave me values. And when he died, he gave me one last gift, a future. But to my mother, it wasn't a gift. It was a jackpot. The day I told her no, that I wouldn't hand over my inheritance to help the family, I saw something snap in her eyes. Rage. Greed. A hunger that had been there my entire life, just hiding under her guilt trips and sob stories. And yesterday, it all came to a head. A text message, family meeting. Aunt Marjorie's house. Sunday, 2 p.m. Time to resolve this as family. It didn't feel like an invitation. It felt like a summons. A warning shot. Growing up, I never knew what home meant. My mom dragged me through 6 different apartments before I was 15, each move triggered by unpaid rent or a boyfriend who didn't last. My dad was a traveling salesman, around just enough to remind me he existed. But my grandfather, Walter, stepped in. He lived in this small brick house on a street shaded by oak trees. Every weekend, every school event, every late-night homework session, he was there. He didn't just teach me how to change a tire or balance a checkbook. He taught me dignity. Responsibility. The truth that money is not freedom unless you respect it. He'd point his pen at me across the kitchen table, his ledger open. Darvis, every dollar you waste is a piece of your future you're burning. Those words became my compass. My mom. She was the opposite. I was 16 when she begged me for $2,000 to fix her car. The next day, she had a designer purse on her arm, and the car was still broken. The next day, she had a designer purse on her arm, and the car was still broken. At 19, I found out she had opened credit cards in my name, maxed them out, and destroyed my credit. At 25, she called sobbing that she was being evicted. I sent her $800. The next week, she posted photos from Vegas. That was the last time I gave her anything. So when my grandfather's will was read, and I learned he left me the house and $750,000, I knew exactly why. He trusted me. He knew my mother would burn through it like lighter fluid. Her nails dug into my arm that day in the attorney's office. That will help our whole family so much, she whispered, her voice dripping sugar but her eyes calculating. I told her no. She called me selfish. She called it family money. But my grandfather had been crystal clear, this is for you, Darvis. For your future. For the life stability I could never give my own daughter. Still, within days, the phone calls began. Uncle Gary telling me I was tearing the family apart. Aunt Marjorie insisting I was too young to handle that kind of money. Cousins texting, asking for, just a little, for tuition or down payments. And my mother? She became relentless. Guilt trips at 2 a.m. Fake emergencies. Showing up at my workplace crying, accusing me of abandoning her. Until finally, silence. For 2 weeks, nothing. Then that text, family meeting. Aunt Marjorie's house. Time to resolve this. It wasn't a request. It was an ambush. The morning of the meeting, I dressed like I was going to war. A navy blue shirt, tie, polished shoes, the kind of armor you wear when you know they're going to try to break you. But I wasn't walking in alone. Because I'd learned from my grandfather to prepare. I met with a lawyer, a sharp woman named Stephanie Cole, who specialized in inheritance disputes. She sat across from me in her Victorian office, papers spread out, and said words that steadied my heart. Your grandfather left this to you alone. And he anticipated this. See this clause? He explicitly states this money is for your benefit, not to be shared. Any pressure from family is against his wishes. They have no case. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I wasn't drowning. My grandfather had shielded me, even from the grave. So when I walked into Aunt Marjorie's living room, I was ready. They were all there. My mother in the center, tears glistening on command. My uncle leaning forward like a lawyer himself. My cousins, whispering. The air was thick with accusation before anyone spoke. Darvis, my mother began, her voice cracking. We are your blood. Your family. And you're letting money turn you against us. I didn't answer. I set a folder on the coffee table. Bank statements. Screenshots. Credit reports. Proof of every lie, every manipulation, every dollar that vanished into her greed. And on top of it all, a flash drive. A video, I said, my voice steady, of Grandpa 3 weeks before he died. Explaining why he left me this inheritance. His words, not mine. The room went silent. My mother's face drained of color. I leaned back, let the weight of my grandfather's voice fill the room as the recording played. His words were final. Unshakable. The truth, spoken by the only man whose opinion mattered. When it ended, no one spoke. Not my uncle, not my cousins, not even my mother. I stood. This money is not yours. It never was. And if you harass me again, any of you, I'll have Stephanie handle it. She's waiting outside. The color drained further from my mother's face. I didn't wait for an answer. I walked out, my footsteps echoing like thunder in the silence behind me. That was the day I realized something brutal: blood doesn't always mean family. Family is the people who protect you, not the people who prey on you. My grandfather was my family. The rest? Just relatives with open hands and closed hearts. And to anyone watching this who's been made to feel guilty for protecting what's yours, hear me, you're not selfish. You're surviving. You're honoring the people who believed in you, not the ones who used you. So let me ask you this: if you were in my shoes, would you have walked out, or given in? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be reading every one.